Tonight on News 5 Live, an officer-involved shooting in Orange Walk leaves a 19-year-old motorcyclist dead. 4 policemen, all assigned to the quick response team, are placed on interdiction following the deadly incident. Another police officer is brought up on internal charges for stealing money on a commuter bus. And on Sports Monday, another eventful weekend for athletes across the country. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
At SMART, we embrace change, innovation, and equality. From energy and transport to telecommunications and network technology, our females are bringing their own style of leadership to traditionally male-dominated sectors and breaking down barriers for the next generation. Therefore, fostering our women's sense of self-worth, her decision-making power, her access to opportunities and resources is at the forefront at SMART. SMART celebrates all women this Women's Month under the theme Digital Innovation and Technology for Gender Equality.
Get ready for fantastic discounts. From now through to September 30th, Bennis is having store-wide discounts on tools, paints, appliances, plumbing and electrical products, lights and fans, household items, and much, much more. Visit a Bennis store near you to enjoy fantastic discounts from now through to September 30th, only at Bennis, celebrating 75 years of quality and savings.
Indulge the flavor. Go beyond meat. Looks like meat. Tastes like meat. But it's better than meat. 100% plant-based. Rich in protein, 50% less saturated fat, no GMOs, no added soy, packed with benefits and sustainable. Beyond meat, good for you, good for the environment. Now available in 6 different types of products in Belize. Beyond burger, beyond sausage, beyond beef, beyond chicken nuggets, beyond chicken tenders, beyond steak, beyond meat, distributed by United Distributors Limited.
The Belize Tourism Board is looking for a catchy and creative jingle for its Civic Pride campaign. The campaign promotes values such as pride and appreciation for Belize, no littering, respect for our national anthem and flag, and protection of our resources, to name a few. Qualifying jingles must be 30 to 45 seconds long in MP3 format. The lyrics should be primarily in English, but can include phrases from other cultural groups in Belize, and must include the words civic pride and Belize. Jingles will be judged based on creativity, originality, musical talent, overall quality, clarity, and compliance with competition rules and guidelines. The winner of the jingle competition will receive a cash prize of $3,000. You have until April 17th, 2023 to email your jingle to pr@belizetourismboard.org. For rules and guidelines, call 227-2420, visit BTB's Facebook page, or email us at pr@belizetourismboard.org.
The BEL 24/7 app just got even better with new features and an upgraded look. With this amazing app, you can know request for a payment extension or a payment arrangement, request to relocate your meter within your property, view your account credit rating, submit a claim. You can even download your bill right from our app. Remember, you can also manage multiple accounts, calculate your bill, process payments, request new service, activate or close an account, submit reports on outages, faults, or streetlight repairs, all from the Assistant feature. The BEL 24/7 app has even more new features just for you. Upgrade or download our BEL 24/7 app today.
and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, March 27th. I am Sabrina Daly. A 19-year-old father of a 1-year-old baby girl is dead after he was shot by a police officer during a high-speed chase in the Orange Walk town on Saturday night. The incident unfolded on the Palmar Road and continued into Main Road before it ended on the Belize Corozal Road where DeAndre Yadiel Chi was shot dead. It is a tragedy that has two very different versions. On one side are the law enforcement officers who were on duty that night, who claim that they were returning fire upon 3 persons on 2 motorcycles, while the 3 friends, 2 of whom are teens and the other a female on a separate motorbike, say that they were simply driving when they were terrorized by a vehicle that pursued them at high speed, blinding their view with high beam lights in their rear view mirrors, and whose occupants opened fire at them continuously. At no time did the 2 survivors say that they heard the officers identify themselves, nor did they engage their siren to let them know they were cops. What's worse is that neither the youth who was killed nor did his friends have any weapon on them. It is an incident that the Commissioner of Police has instructed a criminal and internal investigation into, and one that saw a family lose a son on the birthday of his younger brother. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
The incident that unfolded between 10:30 and 11 on Sunday night on Palmar Road and eventually on the Belize Coastal Road is eerily reminiscent of the fatal Allison Major shooting that took place in downtown Belize City on July 16, 2019. Three friends on 2 motorcycles were riding around town, but their bikes backfired when gearing down, and the popping sound alerted one resident to call the police and report that shots were being fired in their vicinity. The police department's quick response team showed up. As it turned out, after only a few minutes of police pursuit, one of the riders, DeAndre Chi, was dead. His passenger, Miguel Rivero, only 17, spoke to the media with his mother's permission.
We made a come down around Solomon School, right? And we don't make come home for come right up at my house. And then same time on the avenue, the police made a come down. And then they just on the light and come out away. But then the cycle, when he don't have back brakes, right, the cycle backfire. And when the cycle backfire, it take off fire to find the muffler. And then they must think that we shoot. And then they start to shoot out a way too. We did fly the bomb. I had to raise my hand from it. They said that we don't have no gun, right? Nothing. I had to raise my hand 3 times. And then I said they still shoot out a way. They still shoot out a way. And then I bring on my sleeve too, right? Because I have a hoodie, a green hoodie. And I bring on my sleeve too. And then I had to raise my hand. I tell her no shoot, no shoot. I holler too. And then they still shoot out a way.
Rivero and his friend Yahari Villeda say all the while they were trying to escape the pursuers, but they never knew it was the police. At any point did they tell you to stop or to yield?
Well, I never hear nothing, miss. To be honest, I never hear nothing. Second muffler, and I hear them shoot. I don't hear nothing.
We were coming down Palmar Boundary Road. We were going to take with time, cruise, probably 30, 40 most, and cruise. And then when we see this bright light, they come from Liberty Avenue, they come at a high speed of a fire, and then they go closer fast. And but a bright light, high beam. And then I tell Alberto, boy, watch that light there. And I tell Alberto, I'm going to say, who they come there? They come with speed. And Alberto said, boy, I don't know, but I didn't move before they knock me. At this point, I have no idea this is a police. All I said, a big vehicle. I don't know what tell me, turn around. And I dust it down. When I see they pick up, they close for hit me, mate.
At this point, during the chase, Yahari Villeda, who was alone on her bike, said that their pursuers passed her and set out after her friends, Miguel Rivero and DeAndre Chi, who were on the other bike. She decided to divert and to go down another lane. A short while later, she caught up with them, but her friend DeAndre was already fatally wounded.
Then when I reach, I say the cycle dash by one side, like they must have crash, they must have flick them or knock them from behind or something. I say they must have crash. Cause I see, when I reach, I say that he done there right there and just knocked the man off the ground. Alberto they dash away and I said then they kick Alberto. I said then they hold Alberto, they look for handcuff Alberto, they pull for Alberto.
Vieira says that when she arrived at the scene, the police who were there didn't know she was the other motorcyclist. No police officer came to take a statement from you yet?
No, miss, because they didn't even recognize that who they never know that me. I mean, they ready to talk with them and they never know that me that they just chase.
What were they saying when they talked to you?
Then they get out of my scene. Then they push me, then then they chance here and tell them, no man, no can't chance it, the man just 17 and tell the next man that my work and how can I do that?
Miguel Rivero says that his friend gave his life for him.
And when I see he point the gun at me, I hurry bring on my head and I bring on his head. I tell her, bring on her head, I tell her. And then all he tell me know that they are shooting, because they don't shoot one out of the gun, out of the ground, I mean. And then he tell me know that they are shooting, he tell me, make it be only he said jump off, he tell me. I tell her, no, that two away, I tell her, two away are dead together, I tell her. And then he said, no, that, and same time he elbowed me. When he elbowed me, I kind of slide on the side, and same time they shoot, and when they shoot, he got right into him.
DeAndre's friends said that he had just gotten the bike and that he had not yet gone to get it insured. But even if he somehow knew that it was the police who were chasing after him and that he was trying to flee them, his father, Alberto Chi, said that that is no reason to kill anyone.
There was no need for that to shoot my son. There was no need.
How is your family coping with such a loss and the way it happened?
Well, we just right there home sad for what happened, because there was no need for that police to kill my son. No need.
Alberto Chi said that he and his family celebrated their younger son's birthday that day, and their eldest son's life was taken that night. Prime Minister John Briceño, whose constituency is also in Orange Walk, agreed with Chi's father that the killing could have been avoided.
I think it was a senseless death. It's something that could have been avoided. I don't think I could go into great detail as to what happened, because obviously there will have to be an investigation as to find out exactly what happened. But it shows two things, or maybe a number of things, or I'll put it to three. First of all is that, one, that as a citizen, if the police tells you to stop, you should stop. And I was told that these young men were racing in Tong, away from police. And maybe you don't want to stop where it's dark, but once you get by the park or in front of a store, okay, stop and let the police do whatever it is that they want to do. Secondly, and again, secondly, it shows also a lack of either a lack of respect for the police, or a lack of confidence in the police, because many times they believe that the police will brutalize them. So that's my second point: the lack of respect and the lack of not having the trust on the police. And the third one is also the lack of proper training on the part of the police department, of our police officers. It is obvious that our police officers need more training.
The parents of Miguel Rivero are also upset that the police allegedly abused him when they intercepted them. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
In the wake of the deadly shooting, a series of investigations have commenced, including an internal probe to determine the extent of the infractions committed by the responding officers. The probe is being led by Superintendent Gerald Jones, deputy head of the National Crimes Investigation Branch. This afternoon at the police headquarters in Belmopan, he provided a chronology of events from the report given by the officers involved in the incident.
Saturday, the 25th of March 2023, about 10:50 p.m., acting upon the information received of shots fired on Ochobenke Road in Orange Walk, Tong, Orange Walk District. Police visited the Northern Regional Hospital, where one, DeAndre Chi, aged 19 years, of Trial Farm Village, was observed by the police with what appears to be gunshot wound to the left side of the back and one apparent gunshot wound to the stomach area. Initial investigation revealed that on the event date, about 10:25 p.m., quick response team comprising of 4 police officers within the Orange Walk district were on routine patrol within the Cinderella Plaza area when their attention was drawn to 3 motorcycles with 5 occupants. The police officers went in pursuit of these individuals with the intention of having them to stop. Apparently they did not stop and they continued through within the Orange Walk town area. What happened thereafter, the police officers met up with these individuals. They put on their revolving lights and tried to stop these individuals again, but apparently they did not stop. And upon reaching at the Luda's area, the supermarket, was then the police officers saw these individuals making a U-turn. When the police officers approached these individuals, and there was only one motorcycle at that time because they lost sight of 2 of those motorcycles within that area. The one that was approached by the police did a U-turn, and it was then that the police approached the individual. They came out of the vehicle, and then the police officers approached both of them. Motorcycle fell to the ground with the individuals. It was then that the police observed that one of the person that was riding on the motorcycle had a wound, took him to the hospital, and he was pronounced dead. Police have since detained a minor and questioned that individual where statements have been recorded. In respect to the entire investigation, a team of officers led by myself as well as major crimes from the Major Crime Unit in Belmopan left en route to Orange Walk to conduct investigation. We canvassed the entire scene of the incident as to where it started to the end, and we have found 10 .223 expended shells. 8 of them were found within the vicinity of Liberty and Palmar area, and 2 were found within the supermarket area. Alongside on the road, 2 9mm expended shell was also found.
Four policemen attached to the quick response team in Orange Walk have been taken into custody and will remain on interdiction until the probe has been completed. Their identities have also been withheld pending further directives from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. According to Assistant Superintendent Alejandro Hernandez, who is assigned to the Development and Compliance Unit of the Belize Police Department, the body cam worn by the officer who heads the team was turned off during the incident.
4 police officers were detained pending the outcome of this investigation. The rifles we have that were signed out by the police officers have since been seized, packaged, and will be sent to the lab for testing. The body cam that the police officers were using at that time, we found out that they had the body cam on their body, but it was not turned on. And so we need to conduct a further investigation to find out if there was any breach in terms of this situation. In respect to that, also statements have been recorded from several witnesses who come forward to assist in this investigation.
We have a body cam that when there's an incident, body cams must be on at all times. But if it's as a sensitive, like sexual nature, then the body cams are to stay off. But since this incident happened, those body cams should have been on at all times.
For all 4 officers involved, correct?
Yes. Once each one even had a body cam, it must have been on.
But let me say that we are not there yet where each officer can be issued with a body cam. So what we normally do is that the person in charge of the team would have the body cam, and he did have the body cam on, but as have been said, the body cam was turned off, and that is a breach of our policy. The 223 expended shells are likely those discharged by the police. The investigation, based on interviews conducted with the police officers, they are saying that neither of them had a 9mm pistol. We're not going to say at this stage, without having sufficient proof that the officers were indeed fired upon. We still need to try and ascertain exactly where those 2 9mm expended shells came from. And to help us with that aspect of the investigation, we are going to submit those shells to the National Forensic Service Ballistic Unit. And they will be able to do the analysis to ascertain if, in fact, those expended shells were fired by any police weapons, as well as if it was discharged by any licensed weapon.
According to Commissioner of Police Chester Williams, having interviewed several other individuals, there is nothing to suggest that the fleeing motorcyclist fired at the pursuing officers. He went a step further to explain that the motorcycle has since been examined by a mechanic who also confirmed that the bike does backfire when being geared down.
Investigators have interviewed a number of persons and recorded statements from them. But other than the police officers, no one else is saying that they heard any shots fired at the police or they saw anyone fired at the police. We have not come to that as yet. So for now, we are operating under the perception that it could be that, as the young men have said, that the motorcycle that they were on have the muffler removed. And because of the removal of the muffler, it makes a lot of noise. When you gear down, it will make a backfire sound. And as a part of the investigation, I had directed this morning that Mr. Jones take the motorcycle to a mechanic to verify if, in fact, the motorcycles would be capable of making such noise. That was done, and the mechanic do confirm that the motorcycle, in fact, make those noise. So we're still in limbo where that is concerned. My thing is that from what I have seen through the investigation is that the force used by the police officers in that particular incident was excessive. And it ought not to have occurred.
The fatal officer-involved shooting comes at a time when the citizenry is awaiting a decision in the manslaughter case involving former policeman Kareem Martinez, who is accused of the shooting death of teenager Laddie Gillett, who was gunned down while fleeing from officers in Placencia on July 14, 2021. It also succeeds the conclusion of the Allison Major settlement following another deadly officer-involved shooting in July of 2019.
How is the department treating with the situation in light of the fact that we're awaiting a decision in the Laddie Gillett matter, which is an officer-involved shooting, and in a sense it comes on the heels of the settlement with the Allison Major matter, which was also a police-involved shooting? This is inevitably another black eye for the department.
Well, Isani, I would like that people be fair. We're not going to profess to be a perfect organization. Just like every other organizations in the world, we are imperfect. But to be fair to us, we have been holding our officers accountable. Like you said, we are awaiting the decision in the Laddie Gillett matter. It shows that we are serious about holding officers accountable when they step out of line. It just so happens that police officers are recruited from among the masses of people. And the fact that they are also susceptible to the weaknesses of humans. And with that, no matter what we do, as much as we would not want to have incidents like these, they are going to happen from time to time.
Coming up, police corporal placed on interdiction for allegedly stealing money from the cash bag. Find out the details when we come back.
Belizeans deserve a fast, dependable, high-quality internet service in their homes for online, virtual classes, and to work from home. It's the new way of life. Diginet is the #1 fiber service that is powering Belize's digital transformation. And now, this reliable fiber service is even more affordable with our new entry plan. For a limited time only, you and your family can enjoy 20 megabits per second of fiber service to your home for only $49 monthly. No more missed classes and interrupted meetings. It's costing you time and money. Diginet is better than cable and better than wireless. Visit a Digistore today to sign up for the best home internet service in Belize. Come see what you've been missing. Same high quality, fast, and reliable fiber service, now at an even lower price. For more information, visit livedigi.com/Diginet. Digi, our national telecom.
You have been a safe driver all your life when an unavoidable accident happens. But this does not mean that your insurance premium must increase. With RF&G's Accident Forgiveness Program, safe drivers will not lose their no-claims discounts because of those minor, unavoidable accidents. For more information on RF&G's Accident Forgiveness Program, contact us at 223-5734. When it comes to motor insurance, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
The fatal shooting of a youth in Orange Walk is not the only incident that the Belize Police Department has to deal with when it comes to its officers. A video clip went viral on Sunday that exposes a police corporal who was taken off a bus by the owner of the bus after the officer allegedly stole money from the conductor's cash bag. The bus owner in this case had to be the one to hard talk the corporal before he eventually gave in and decided to go back on the bus to take out the cash from where he had it stashed. The entire charade was captured on video, including the part where the corporal sat down in one of the bus seats to extract the money from where he had it apparently hid in his underwear. Today, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams told reporters that the embarrassing situation is one he wished he could have dealt with from his office.
It's one of the most embarrassing situation I've seen with police. In a situation like that, I really wish that I could just write a letter and sign it and tell a man, you're dismissed. But unfortunately, we have a system that requires due process. And so the matter is with PSB. That police officer was interdicted from duty today. I expect that by the end of the day today, PSB should be levying charges on him internally, because I'm told that the bus owners do not want any criminal action in respect thereof. And we will ensure that the tribunal is heard in the most expeditious manner, while still providing him with his right to due process, because I won't want that we do something that he end up appealing and have to come back. I don't think that policeman should ever be allowed to wear the police uniform again. That is saying what I have to say in the most cautious way I possibly can. From what we know is that he alighted the bus and we have taken the cash bag of the conductor and took the money therefrom and hid the money in his brief, I think. I don't know. I saw him going down and took out the money. And as you can see in the video, he was questioned over and over. He denied having the money, and then eventually he acceded to having the money. And he went inside the bus and took out the money from his private parts area and returned it. That is extremely embarrassing. And to make matters worse is that he wore the police uniform at that particular moment. It's extremely embarrassing.
A man was found stabbed to death in Santa Elena, Cayo early Friday morning. The lifeless body of 51-year-old Julian Villanueva was discovered in the Red Creek area of Santa Elena with a cut wound on his chest. Swift police action has led to the arrest of another individual for the crime of murder. Police have no motive thus far. Neither can they ascertain whether the men knew each other prior to the incident.
On Friday, 24th March, sometime around 2:50 a.m., St. Ignacio police responded to information of a male person seen motionless on the side of the George Price Highway. When police arrived there, they observed what they believe was a stab wound to the center of the chest area. That person was rushed to the
San Ignacio Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Julian Villanueva, 51 years, was victim identified in this murder. The investigators gathered certain information, and at the end of the investigation, they had enough information to arrest and charge Mark Louis Castellanos, 27 years, of Santa Elena, for the murder committed against Mr. Villanueva.
Motive?
Well, motive not yet established, but the information gathered was enough for charges to be levied against Mr. Castellanos.
Police have made an arrest in connection with a murder that occurred in Dangriga in February of this year. ASP Fitzroy Yearwood says the evidence points to a resident of North Creek in Belize City. The motive for the killing of Frank Garcia remains unknown, but investigators are trying to wrap up the case. Garcia was inside his house in the Rivas Estate area of Dangriga on February 27th when his killer entered the house and shot him. Here's ASP Fitzroy Yearwood with that update.
Reference the Frank Garcia murder that took place in Dangriga on the 27th of February 2023. Dangriga police formally arrested and charged Jahim Gallego, 20 years, of North Creek, Belize City address, for the crime of murder.
The nature of the altercation between them, or motive? Yeah.
Well, this is an investigation that the arrest was made 1 month later. So I can say that detectives were conducting their investigation. And when they believed that they had enough evidence, they levied charges. The motive has not been, announced as it.
After the break, former FIU director suing GLB for non-renewal of contract. We'll tell you about that, but first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
LG dual inverter compressor cools air faster by operating at speeds as high as 120 Hz with more stability compared to conventional models. It also saves up to 70% more energy by operating at speeds as low as 10 Hz with more stability. It reduces torque vibration down to 40% for quiet outdoor unit operation. Stable operation with low vibrations also results in increased durability.
From generation to generation, Bristol Water is there every step of the way. Taste you can trust.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Today, the media caught up with Minister of State for Finance, Christopher Koyi, and he was asked about the increase in the wage bill. During the budget debate last week, Albert Area Representative Tracy Panton announced that the allotted figures for non-established government workers for the upcoming fiscal year was up by over $23 million. The increase in the minimum wage to $5 is also being reflected in the proposed budget for 2023-2024 fiscal year. While he was not able to speak on specific details, Minister Koyi says that at the macro level, there is also an increase as a result of the pending unfreezing of increments.
On a macro level, I think the salaries line was about 448 million as the projected outturn for this current fiscal year, and I believe the budget proposed on the emolument section is a little over 460 million, thereabouts. So it's a difference of around 20 million that captures the increment adjustment for public officers. There is also a further line in the transfers and subsidies section that also increases, again capturing for the adjustment or the unfreezing of increments. There certainly will be adjustments due to the minimum wage that would have even occurred in this current fiscal year, but it will be more broadly reflected into the full fiscal year of 2023-2024.
The thing is that Panton was speaking specifically to non-established staff, where you see this exponential increase in wages. You're talking about the application of that increment being unfrozen, so that's two different things.
I can't speak to how many open vote workers and what's the adjustment for open vote workers, whether it's to do with minimum wages or an increase in the staff complement. I'm just telling you on a macro basis what that adjustment or what the adjustment in the fiscal year numbers reflects.
Minister Koyi was also asked for an update on the Non-Profit Organization Bill 2023. The NGO community had raised concerns about the lack of consultation, but Minister Koyi says that discussions began a year ago between the Financial Intelligence Unit and representatives from the NGO community. The bill is to address the non-compliance of non-profit organizations as it relates to the Money Laundering and Terrorism Prevention Act. For now, the bill will not be brought before the Senate to give time for consultations to take place, but Belize has to implement by May of this year. Minister Koyi says that if NPOs remain non-compliant, it will affect the country's standing with the Financial Action Task Force.
Will bore you to death, but the reality is that there is an existing set of obligations on NPOs that are laid out in the Money Laundering and Terrorism Prevention Act that are at the same level of banks and financial institutions. So they actually have very onerous obligations on them right now that are not being complied with. In large part not being complied with by many NPOs. The reality is when those amendments or laws were being put in place, they were very reactive and were in effect a patch-up job, and that was being done way back when the third round peer review was going on. At this point in time, what's important in the peer review coming up is two things, not one. In the past, it used to be on technical compliance. Now it is on both technical compliance and effectiveness in enforcement. So if people are being non-compliant, that will reflect very badly on us, on the country. And we expose ourselves, we jeopardize our rating and expose ourselves to being blacklisted. So the NPO bill in reality is an effort to establish a more customized mechanism for MLTPA purposes for NPOs. It actually brings down the obligations. It reduces the level of AML obligations and compliance obligations that NPOs are need to adhere to, but at the same time meets the FATF recommendation. So it actually is beneficial for the NPOs. What I understand was a difficulty is there was a working group established in March of last year, not March of this year, March of last year, in which NPOs were participating in and have participated in for roughly a year. What the issue appears to be is that the bill itself, so these consultations or working group involved NPOs and representatives of NPOs over the past year. What I understand did not occur was that the FIU in those working group and otherwise never showed the bill when it was finalized. But as far as I understand, the bill was being formulated over the past couple months and only was completed a few weeks ago. So yes, there's a tight timeline that we have to meet, because we have to have all these technical compliant issues, including the NPO bill, in place by no later than May. So there's a tight timeline, and unfortunately, the FIU did not have the time or the opportunity to have a full disclosure on the bill itself. But it was tight for us as cabinet as well, So it's a process that has been truncated, and we have to try and get it done before May.
Last week, Prime Minister John Bersenio said, quote, "We cannot take any risk when it comes to the issue of correspondent banking situation," unquote. It was on the premise of technical compliance on the part of the country to meet the international standards set out by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force to combat money laundering and financing of terrorism. Several banks in Belize had lost correspondent banking relations as a result of de-risking. Today, Minister of State Christopher Kuyi was asked for an update on Belize and correspondent banking. Here's what he had to say.
The correspondent banking situation has been improving bit by bit on incremental basis. As far as I understand, Belize Bank was recently able to open a new correspondent banking relationship with a bank out of Texas, so a direct one, whereas most of the correspondent banking relationships has been through, I think, Crown Agents Bank out of UK or Gibraltar or wherever. This is a direct one, and it's certainly a big positive for our banking system that we have been able to set up a new direct correspondent banking relationship.
The National Bank has finalized its one with the bank in Italy?
As far as I'm aware, yes. But that's a euro account, not a US dollar account.
Former director of the Financial Intelligence Unit, Kent Clare, is suing the government of Belize after he was removed back in late February. He was named director back in 2016 and his contract was not renewed. Clare's deputy, Lenny Isigeri Magan, is now acting director of the FIU. It was reported elsewhere in the media that the Caribbean Financial Task Force Mutual Evaluation Anti-Money Laundering Peer Review is to take place later this year, and there was a need for change. But as it appears, Claire is not going out quietly and has filed for judicial review for the non-renewal of his contract. Here's what Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, Christopher Kui, had to say.
I'm not sure about what basis you think should be covered, but I understand that there is a claim that has been lodged for judicial review. That is now a matter before the court, and I think that has to be dealt with accordingly through attorneys.
He was notified that his contract would not have been renewed, even though he was being kept on.
As I said, that's a matter that's before the court, and I'm sure you will be able to see the responses, replies, affidavits. Those will all be of public record, so you could get your answers to that in those documents.
When we return, a groundbreaking ceremony. The BDF is to get 3 new buildings.
Environmentally degradable plastics, or EDP, are plastics that are affected by a combination of environmental conditions that cause the plastic to break down within an acceptable time frame. They are specifically designed to degrade into carbon dioxide, water, and other biomass substances. The level of breakdown can vary based on standard test methods appropriate to the plastic. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
So the doctor has given me 5 days off. How do I get paid from Social Security?
This is how Social Security works for sickness benefits. First, you must check that you qualify. You must be between the ages of 14 and 65. You must be employed when you got sick. You must be an insured contributor. Have made 50 paid contributions. Have made 5 paid contributions within 13 weeks immediately before getting sick. To ensure that your processing goes smoothly, be sure to complete and submit your claim form within 4 days of the first day of illness.
Thanks, I get it now.
Social Security, safeguarding you, your family, your future.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Today, ground was broken for the construction of 2 living quarters and a mess hall for the soldiers at the BDF headquarters at Price Barracks. The infrastructure project, which has a price tag of over $6 million, is being funded by the Central American Bank for Economic Integration, CABE. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
It was a project designed back in 2010 under the previous administration, but today there is a light at the end of the tunnel for the Belize Defense Force, which has for years been clamoring for dormitories, also referred to as barrack rooms, as well as a kitchen and mess hall for the soldiers stationed at the headquarters at Price Barracks. With support from the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, CEO in the Ministry of Economic Development, Dr. Osmond Martinez, says that a redesign of the project was approved, and this is the 3rd procurement for the BDF.
It was approved by CABE in 2014 under the Central American Integral Security Program. However, nothing was done. The program was there, the money was there, but no construction. Not one procurement was delivered under the Integral Security Program. Now this is the 3rd procurement that will be done for the Belize Defense Force. The first one was the 10 troop lifting trucks that were delivered back in December by our Prime Minister. Just a little bit before that, we managed to give you some computers, printers, which I trust that they're working well. And now we are moving on to the construction of the 2 quarters and the kitchen.
These 2 buildings will cost about approximately $2.7 million each. We will also be building a proper state-of-the-art kitchen for about $1.1 million.
That is for a total value of $6.5 million for this particular project. Minister of National Defense Florencio Marin Jr. says that the focus is on the welfare of the soldiers.
I'd like to think that you all are seeing changes, albeit small at times, but changes that are constantly occurring within this, within the BDF. You're beginning to see, we never had much resources, but we decided to start from the ground up. We begin to fix the bathrooms, at least make that clean. All right, we fix, every camp has at least got some kind of a repair, some kind of refurbishment. We had issues with transportation, significant. I mean, the mobility of the Belize Defense Force was quite limited. Now we have 15 Hino trucks that is helping us. We also have some small pickup SUVs that we are working with. So little by little, we're getting the work done, right, to be able to do the job that we are supposed to do.
Each barrack room will be able to accommodate up to 50 soldiers for a total of 100 within the next 12 to 15 months, which is the time set to complete the structures. A tour was also done of the mess hall that will be replaced with a modern kitchen.
We celebrate the start of the construction of 2 much needed accommodation buildings at a cost of approximately $2.7 million for a combined livable space of 10,800 square feet to accommodate some 100 soldiers. This investment goes to the heart of our commitment to improve the living conditions of our soldiers and provide equipment that can make their jobs easier. In addition to these 2 buildings, work will commence simultaneously on a modern, well-equipped kitchen with mess halls that can sit between 250 and 350 soldiers.
According to Minister Koi, infrastructure works will also be carried out at Fairweather Camp in Punta Gorda and Camp Belisario in the Cayo District. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
On Sunday morning, a Panamanian registered general cargo vessel that was transiting Belize waters en route to Port Everglades, Florida, reportedly experienced mechanical failure and ran aground along the Turnif Atoll Marine Reserve, just east of the Drowned Keys. Tonight, the vessel remains grounded as initial salvage operations have proven futile. The vessel has been detained by the Belize Port Authority pending an investigation into the incident, its environmental impacts and damage assessments. We spoke with Darlene Gaitan, the acting port commissioner at the Belize Port Authority.
We have a vessel aground. It's actually near the Drowned Keys, very close to the Drowned Keys, and it's a container ship. It's of 98.3 meters in length, and so it's a sizable vessel. And it's a general cargo, like you've said, and they ran aground yesterday, Sunday, the 26th of March. They're about in the very early 4:00 a.m. thereabouts. Currently, the investigation is still ongoing, so we won't be able to say exactly what led to the vessel running aground. But we do know that the vessel was in transit. They were not destined to come to Belize. They were actually headed up to Port Everglades from the Puerto Cortes. And so they were passing through English Key Channel thereabouts, and they either experienced mechanical failure, engine, some form of failure within their ship, and that caused the vessel to take a left and run into reef. So that's where it sits since the incident on Sunday. There are currently recovery salvage efforts by the company to have the vessel removed as soon as possible, but those have not been successful at this time, so the vessel is still sitting on the reef.
According to the Belize Port Authority, upon inspection, the vessel does not pose a threat of pollution at this time, as its hull remains intact. However, damage assessments to the marine environment is still ongoing. Once dislodged from its grounded position, the vessel will remain detained until the investigation and damage assessment concludes. Gaitan tells us more.
From the initial assessments of the Department of the Environment, who conducts these assessments, there is indication that there is reef damage, and so that has its own process in terms of evaluating the extent of that damage and quantifying that for recovery purposes. Next steps for us, because we're still in the investigative phases, we're coordinating with the various entities as to what their findings are and how we could put together a case for the government of Belize in this case. And so it's based on the salvage efforts that's going to prompt the Department of the Environment to go back and get a quantification of what the damage assessment is. And so that's going to guide their side of the investigation. Of course, from our side, we do have the safety perspective to look at what safety implications were here, what are some of the factors that may have led to this incident, and if there was any negligence.
The 13 crew members on board the vessel are safe and cooperating with Belizean authorities. The Belize Port Authority has also duly informed the flag state of the marine incident and the ship's status. Up next, these are the highlights of a sports-filled weekend across the country.
Galenia Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include Cath Lab, Adult Intensive Care Unit, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, emergency rooms, operating theaters, ambulance services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to Galenia Hospital in Cancun for a truly personal medical care experience.
You know the saying, desperate times call for desperate measures. What do you do when you get to a dead end? Sometimes life just doesn't go the way we planned it to go. And when you're in those seasons of life, what do you do? Where do you go? Who do you turn to? Join Sagebrush Church as we begin our series, Dead End Desperation, where we'll talk about following God in some of the hardest moments of our lives. Be sure to visit sagebrush.church or download the Sagebrush app for locations, service times, and more.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in Safeguarding Our Community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
The last time we visited Miss Francesca Howers was to deliver the exciting news that she was chosen to receive a home sponsored by SMART for its 18th anniversary through the Hand in Hand Ministries housing program. Since then, she has actively been participating in attending Saturday sessions to improve her life skills, cleared her property for its foundation and construction of her home, and has assisted in the construction of a home for another recipient of Hand in Hand housing program. All these activities are to foster a more responsible, responsive citizen in our community.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
VEL's High School Energy Challenge just got better! You have more time to study, register, and win! Register online at vel.com.bz/energychallenge by Monday, March 20th. Students, high schools, start preparing! Log in anytime from Monday, March 27th to Friday, March 31st to complete the challenge. It only takes 1 hour to complete the challenge. And you could win one of 100 laptops, one of 25 $500 tuition vouchers, or one of 25 $250 stationery vouchers. The top 3 high schools also receive cash prizes of $1,000, $2,000, and $3,000. Study anything and everything. Let's Talk Energy on our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube pages. Register now and get ready for VEL's High School Energy Challenge.
Good night and welcome to another edition of Sports Monday. I am Paul Lopez.
What a weekend for sports in Belize. And tonight we have all the action for you right here. We begin our coverage with what was a highly anticipated football match between Belize and Guatemala in the CONCACAF Nations League tournament. Both teams rumbled in front of a sold-out FFB stadium with a record 3,200 fans in attendance. 3 minutes and 55 seconds into the first half, a pass from Jordi Polanco to Michael Salazar. He sees number 3 Eldon Reno to his right, sets up the pass. Jordi Polanco finds the ball. He takes a shot, but that one went just a bit too high over the crossbar. On the other end of the field, at the 5th minute of play, the ball is received inside the penalty box. A quick pass over the heads of the Belizean defenders. Goalkeeper Charles Tillett sacrificing his body to save that one, and the offside flag is up. 15 minutes and 38 seconds into the first half, and Guatemala looks to attack the goal once again. Guatemalan Darwin Lum tries to save the play, and he is fouled inside the penalty area for the first and only penalty kick of the match. Mejia lines up to take the shot, and a save by goalkeeper Charles Tillett. 28 minutes, 40 seconds into the game, a corner kick for Belize's Jordi Polanco, defected by Guatemala as they make a quick dash across the field. Pass to number 6 Carlos Mejia, who floats it across to Oscar Castellanos for the header into the goal. Guatemala now leading by 1. At the 43rd minute and 28th second, Guatemala in possession of the ball. Galindo to Morales on the right wing, outside to Santis. He shakes off Eldon Reno, gets to the top of the penalty box and fires from outside, straight into the net for a second goal for Guatemala. Team Belize was down 2-0, but they were not yet out of the fight. 40 seconds into the 2-minute extra time for the first half of the match, number 17 for Belize, Kyle Flowers, takes the corner kick directly to Jordi Polanco, who sends it into the goal with a header. What a stunning play. The first half ended 2-1 goals in favor of Guatemala. 2 minutes into the second half, Carlos Mejia sees the opening on top of the penalty box, fires a missile, deflected by Tillett. Lum tries to recover with a kick, deflected again by Tillett. A header to the goal for a third attempt, and the ball is cleared out by Belize's Daryl Maivet. Team Belize would go on to lose the match 2-1. We heard from number 16, Jordi Polanco, following the match.
It was a very special moment. Scoring a goal for our national team is a great feeling. It was a 2-1, and that gave us a nice boost, but unfortunately we were able to lose the game, but it was very good. It was a very nice privilege to score a goal.
And some may suggest that we weren't pushing enough, or we weren't being as offensive as we could have been. Is that your view while we were playing on the field?
Yep, it is. I mean, they were very good defensively. They had a nice block in the defensive line. We tried to break that block, but unfortunately we couldn't. But I'm proud of my team.
And now for some junior cycling action as we gear up for the upcoming 2023 Cross Country Cycling Classic. The annual 70-mile race known as the Junior Cross Country Cycling Classic from Columbus Park in San Ignacio Town to the Myron Jones Sporting Complex in Belize City was held on Sunday. A total of 30 junior riders took off from the starting line. 26 minutes into the race just outside of Unitedville, Jalen Briseno for G-Flow Jr. and Delton Rojas for Rolling Shutters BZ Boys made their breakaway from the main peloton. And folks, that would be the story of this race. Though attempted, none of the other riders were able to catch up with these two all the way up to the finish line in Belize City. So the battle for first place was between Briseno and Rojas for 70% of the race. After roughly 3 hours and 40 minutes of riding, Briseno and Rojas are side by side, seconds away from the finish line. Following that spectacular finish, Rojas would officially be declared the 2023 Junior Cross Country Cycling Champion.
The plan that I make I get away solo. My team I work for me, but the break just got early. I had to chase it. Me and Jalen organized and we get away. Then when I finish, I let that go. They catch me back and I beat up on the sprint. And my hard race, kudos to Jalen. Jalen a really tough rider. Really tough.
It was a good race, but I don't believe the ending was fair because
Rojas came in front of me, which they have it on the video, and he shouldn't do that because when he's in front of me, I can't overtake him because he's there covering me when he should stay in his lane.
A bit of frustration there from Briceño, but in the end, Rojas was declared the official winner. The National Secondary School Sports Association hosted its softball nationals on Friday and Saturday inside the Rogers Stadium in Belize City. Following the playoff rounds on Friday night, Belmopan Comprehensive High School females faced off against Independence High School for third place. Belmopan Comprehensive High School defeated IHS females 14-7 runs. The first place matchup in the female category was between Edward Pierre High School and Ladyville Technical High School on Saturday afternoon. At the top of the first inning, number 3 for EPR is on the home plate, ready to bat. The pitcher throws a low ball and the batter is down. She gets to advance to first base, and then a steal from second to third base, but the play is called off. Number 17 makes a second attempt at the steal to third with a new batter on the home base. She is successful. A hit into the left field as Ladyville Tech fielders scramble to recover. One player makes it home safely, and then a second runner with a dramatic slide to home base as the backstopper loses her helmet and her hair is in the wind. A second hit into the left field for EPR sends a third runner to home base. At the bottom of the first inning, with a batter up for Ladyville Tech, an attempt is made to steal from second base to third base, but the backstopper reads the play in a timely fashion and passes it for the out, much to the dismay of Ladyville's head coach. At the bottom of the second, with a runner on third base, the pass from the backstopper is fumbled, clearing the way for Ladyville to make a needed run. EPR females would go on to win the match and be crowned the 2023 High School Softball Females Champions. The male championship matchup saw the San Pedro High School Tigers face off against the St. John's Junior College Wildcats. San Pedro High School fielding at the top of the first inning. A hard hit into the left field sends one runner in for SJC. Bottom of the first, with a player on the third, the backstopper misses the pitch ball, which leads to a steal at the home base. San Pedro High secured their first run. Top of the third inning, it's a 1-1 ball game with a runner on the second base for SJC. The ball is hit to the right of the field, securing a second run for SJC. Number 15 for SJC positions himself, swings, and it goes into the left field. That's yet another run for SJC and a runner on second base. Still at the top of the third, the backstopper loses sight of the ball after the pitch, and the runner on the third base for SJC takes advantage. At the top of the fourth, with the game score at 4-1 runs in favor of SJC, the Night Skies quickly overtook the stadium. A missed ball by San Pedro's backstopper sends in another run for SJC. At the bottom of the fifth and final inning, San Pedro is up to bat and they must secure 4 points to keep their chances alive. The batter hits the ball to the left. It is stopped by number 13, a throw to first base for a first out. Batter up, the ball is hit down the right side. The runner on third base makes it home for another point. A hit into the left field sends a runner to second base and one to third. The batter times the pitcher perfectly and sends the ball down to the second base fielder. The Sharks took advantage of the play and scores 2 additional points, bringing the match back to a 1-point difference. Number 10 for the Sharks on third base with 1 out in the inning. Ball down the center, first base gets the out, but number 10 makes it home safely to tie the game at 5 apiece. We are now at the bottom of the second extra inning with SJC in the lead, 7-6 points. Runner on the third base, the ball goes down the center field and another run for San Pedro to once again tie the game at 7 apiece. Runner on third, a hit into the open field from the batter sends that runner home to secure the win for San Pedro High School Sharks.
As I said before, my team, our strong family, and we coaches train we hard and good to make we get make we not get nervous throughout the plays, right? So we come in strong, we are finished strong, and we team that one big family. So we comfort each other and we come back.
Tell me something, what was the greatest challenge for you guys against SJC?
I think the greatest challenge was most of our players, I don't think we expected the speed that he was pitching at, and we slowly got accustomed to it, and then we started making our hits and coming back to the game.
Congratulations to both champions. The second inter-district rugby tournament was held on Sunday inside the MCC grounds. The tournament saw the Belize City Vikings, the Cayo Baymen, and the Orange Walk Lions face off against each other. The second match of the day was between the Vikings and the Baymen. Vikings in the striped jersey and Baymen in the solid blue. Vikings Ashton Usher with a ball as he sprints down the line and cannot be caught. He makes the first try for the team Vikings. Baymen with the ball is fumbled and turned over. The Viking makes a dash to the boundary line, brought down by a tackle. Quick thinking leads to the pass, ball is loose and the referee makes a call. The player gets in scrum position, ball goes to the Vikings. Usher again easily slips away from his opponent for another try. That match ended with Vikings on top. In the third and final matchup, it was the Cayo Baymen against the Orange Walk Lions. Lions with the ball, runs into trouble and passes to his teammate who attempts to barrel his way through the defense. Moments later, a second attempt at a try. Lion makes it into the in-goal area, but it wasn't enough to counter the try. In the second half, the Lions attempt to move towards the in-goal area, taken down. Whistle is blown. That matchup ended in favor of the Baymens. Well, folks, that is all we have for you in tonight's coverage of Sports Monday. Until next time, always be mindful that nature is the best playground.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.